Nobody wants to work for a dull, boring person who can't inspire. I knew that the people that have gone through the most usually can end up with the most. And I'm like, you're on the bus with me. And then we threw the people off the bus that didn't align. Even if you make a bad decision, you're like, I thought they were with me and they're not, get them off the bus. If you don't have intensity, how are you gonna win, man? It doesn't matter if you show up with a great attitude. If you're not ready to go to war, if you're not ready to fight for what's yours, you're never gonna win. And if you damn sure don't have a good attitude through it, who's gonna wanna follow you? All right, guys, so how to unlock the best version of yourself. Who wants to be the best version of themselves? Like, who's logging into here today because they know that there's more. They know that on the other end of them doing the hard work, you can scale and build a business. You want to grow a business, you want to grow your team, but you're trying to figure out how to do it. Listen, man, I'm nothing special. I want to talk to you about a little bit about my story, and then I want to get into some tactical things, and I want to show you really what it's going to look like for you to grow a team. First and foremost, like, this is my family team. This is my wife. You know, if you don't believe that I'm a closer, Lucas, look at this. I am a freaking closer. So can I tell you how to sell? Yeah. Can I tell you how to lead? Yeah. But guys, when we're talking about sales and leadership, and the reason why it's the Sales and Leadership Academy is because how you lead yourself is how you're going to lead the people around you. And when you're leading somebody to make an important decision throughout a sale, when you're leading somebody, that is sales. So in order to be the best salesperson ever, you got to be present. So everybody repeat after me. Be present today. Be present today. Being present is a superpower. Michael, scroll down. Being present is a superpower. And most people, they just truly don't know how to be present. So you gotta freaking lock in. Most of the time, the one thing that's gonna distract, the thing that's gonna take you out isn't the market, it's you. Now, this is my team. So coming on here talking to you about building a team and building your dream life, this is my team. Michael, next one. What I want to talk to you about being the co-president of the Elliott Group is how to build a team. Now, most of the time, when people see our team, they think that we recruited our team this way. They think that, like, our team, Tommy Propovich, let's talk about Tommy here on the right. You know, when we talk about reduplicating ourselves, Andy is one of the we can call him influencer. I like to call him an impactor. Andy is one of the realest guys out there because he actually has a team. He's not talking about 10, 15 years ago when he exited a business and then he built a team, and he's trying to talk to you about, or talking about how he was successful building a team 15 years ago, which he was. He's talking about what he's doing now. And there's so many fake people in this world that aren't doing anything now, and they're on the internet talking about like theoretical shit. I want to talk to you about being an applicant teacher. We've been able to reduplicate ourselves inside of the Elliott Group, and I want you to write that word down. Reduplicate yourself. If you can't reduplicate yourself, you can never actually ever scale your business, and you damn sure can't get out of your business to work on it because you're always in it. Austin Ledette. Austin came on our team. He was scared of his shadow. He's on the left. Austin wasn't a good salesperson. He had a good heart. He had some good charisma. And when I looked at Austin, I was like, man, this guy could be great, but he's gonna need a lot of work. Most of the time with leaders, and there might be some of you guys that are guilty on it, you're looking for the A players. If you want an A player, you damn sure better be an A player. You damn sure better be an A player if you want A players on your team. But I'm okay with finding some B and C players and creating A players. I'm okay with putting the effort, the intensity, the energy, the passion into my team, because I know based on my leadership and the way that I live my life, these guys can live their life the same way too. But they can tell if you're a fraud. Stop what you're doing and watching this amazing video. Do you want free access to all of our sales, leadership, personal development call? Do you want to become a better leader? Do you want to scale up and make more money as a salesperson? Do you want to get on fire for life and grow? You get free access. This is free, F-R-E-E. The link is in the description. Click it. You will get on calls with me and Andy personally. Can't wait to see you. Let's get back to the video. Austin, look at the way that he's changed. He's one of the best public speakers on our team. And just like on this call, I would have Austin on calls and he was too scared to even turn his screen on. He was too scared when we would do objections back on Twin Tuesday back in the day, and I'd pull him up, I'd say, who's that guy Austin Ledette? And he would be hiding in the shadows. He was scared, guys. How many of you guys have a fear of public speaking? Raise your hand, be honest, be truthful. Most people in the world, one of the biggest freaking things that they're scared of is public speaking. Most people are actually willing to die before they would actually get on a stage in front of their peers and talk about their story. It's the truth, guys. I never even viewed myself as a public speaker until I got a coach in Andy Elliott who started telling me, dude, whether you talk to one person or 10,000, you are a public speaker. In sales, you are putting on a show worth paying for. So Austin, if you guys look up to him on the internet and you've seen him talk and you've seen him at our conferences, he was not built that way. He was not born that way. He was refined. Tommy Popovich, you guys see him on the right. He looks like a freaking Superman. He looks like a Greek god. The picture of him right there where the other one in the white tank top, he was a 16-year heroin addict, addicted to opiates, 4 times that he overdosed. Most people would have counted him out. We counted him on. I saw his habits and I talked to him on the phone and I'm like, dude, you could be great. You just have never surrounded yourself with the right people. You need to surround yourself with us. You need to turn your addictions into addicting yourself to the gym, into personal development, into investing in yourself. So when you see Tommy online and you see him preaching and speaking all around the world, he's bringing people to God left and right. He runs our Bible study. Dude, Tommy is a beast. He is a total savage, but he's a guy that has a good heart. He just was lost. I'm okay in our company with finding the people that are lost, but if they have the intention to change, I will help them out. Go to the next one, Michael. And I just want to encourage you guys as leaders. Sometimes you're looking for the super who's is what we call them. There's how you're going to get to another million in revenue, and there's who's going to get you there. Go read the book, Who Not How by Dr. Benjamin Hardy. These are our super who's. These are the people that we found and we've grown our business. Look at all of them. Look at Maria Kirby at the very top left. She was like a little house on the prairie, guys. She was like a veterinarian, like taking care of cats and shit like that. And now she's one of the head people on our operations team. She was top in sales. She wanted to get in ops. She's freaking savage. Selena, many of you guys know Selena. She's the most charismatic, energy-filled salesperson in the world. Jessie, she's in our admin team. Her transformation has been amazing. Selena, Sierra on the very bottom, that's Tommy's wife. She never gave up on him. She was the person that revived him without Narcan when he overdosed. She literally revived him. The paramedics said they never seen anything like it. She will not give up on people. You think that she makes a good coach? You think that she's seen it all? Yeah, do you think that most people would have hired them? No. Michael, next one. There's a reason why we hired them. Why? Because heart. Guys, write this down. You have to become a hero-making machine. And by the way, if you're on this call and you're a salesperson, you're like, I don't have a company, Evan. I'm not a leader in my company, Evan. Dude, you're so stupid. You're a leader. You're a leader. There's people that are watching you every single day. And before I was the co-president in the Elliott Group, I saw myself, my identity, I saw myself leading people. I saw myself being the leader of leaders. I saw myself running a division in this company. But you know what? I had to become it. Andy always would tell us, you have to kill off the old version of you and reinvent yourself. Okay? It's just like the Bible says, the old is gone and the new has come. Right? Like you have to become that new version of you. And if you do this and you go on this journey of self-development, it is really not that complicated to reduplicate yourself because you're such a badass that your team is trying to become just like you. So write this down, the hero-making machine. You have to become it. You have to live it. And then once you live it, then you can learn it. And then once you learn it, then you can live it and then you can teach it. And when you start to do this and people actually look at you and they're like, you're the example, all of a sudden, now you're changing lives, okay? And this could even be with your clients. Guys, you could be a salesperson right now and you want to work your way into leadership or building your own thing. Listen, man, you have to learn to lead yourself. You have to right now, under Hero Making Machine, write down some of your weaknesses. Write down some of the shit that you need to subtract out of your life. Michael Dallio, he's totally fine with me sharing his stories, guys. He's one of our leaders in our community. He always has been. He's been with us from the very beginning. He's a killer. Franz, same thing. There's many of you guys that are on this call. I'm looking at Michael Dallio right now. He texted me the other day. He says, Evan, what do I got to do to become a better like a better man? Like, what do I got to do to become better in all these areas? And I was like, Michael, he was looking for this addition. And Michael, he's constantly looking for the edge, which I've trained him to do. But I was like, Michael, why don't we do something that nobody else does? Why don't we subtract some shit out of our life? Like, why don't we be the person? Why don't we subtract some of the things out? Like, we're always trying to add things to our life. Why don't you guys write down some things right now that if you just subtract it out of your life, you would increase? Okay, Rubia, what are some things that you're doing that you've settled for? Think about this right now. You as a leader, you're gonna want people to follow you, but you yourself are settling for little bitch ass things that if you just got rid of, that you know don't make a strong person. It could be alcohol, it could be friends, it could be the same people that you hang out with Saturday and Sunday night that are not in the hero making machine. And by the way, some of you guys might be alone on this mission for a while, and you have to go through this lone wolf phase. And you might be like, Evan, I don't know anybody like this. We have to stay psycho. Why? Because I don't want to be like everybody else. I want to continue to get better. I want to become better because I know that there's people counting on me. And I know when people get around me, they can become a better person because I've done the deep work. You're gonna have to do the deep work. You're gonna have to heal some of your traumas and shit so you can become the version of you that other people respect and they look up to. I want you to think for a second. If you look up to me, say you look up to me, say you look up to whoever you look up to, what would you have to do to gain my respect? What would you have to do to gain somebody that, say it's Andy Elliott, say it's whoever, say it's your mom, your dad, say it's your grandpa, say it's a business owner that you're around. What would you have to do? Say it's one of our clients, Max Willett. Well, I don't give a shit who it is. Whoever it is, write down, what would I have to become for this person to respect me? To respect me. And if you become that, you're going to notice that a lot of people that are following you are going to start respecting you because you operate at a high frequency. And when you operate at a high frequency, it's only, honestly, it's because you've kept all these promises to yourself, so you're living in a zone of like enlightenment because like you found God, you've committed to these different things, you've grown in your fitness, you've committed to these disciplines that you started to keep your word, and all of a sudden when you're keeping your word, life starts to get better, and then you start to get more confidence, and then you're making more money, things are starting to happen, the momentum's going. But the second you stop that shit, your frequency lowers. Michael, next one. So if you want to become the best version of you, I'd say do it. Number 1 and 2 Nissan salesman in the country. Keep going, Michael. I talked about this. I'm not an applicant teacher. I'm a theory teacher. I'm an applicant teacher. I know how to scale teams. I know how to scale my own business. I know how to make some of the biggest deals in high ticket freaking history. I know how to do it. I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you right now that there's a lot of people that get on here and they're going to talk about going to make millions in sales, and they haven't made millions in sales. They're going to talk about building a team, but they don't got anybody following them. I got 100 people that I'm responsible for. You know, and so it's like, how do you take that on? How do you take the emotional burdens of all these people on? How on payday are you trying to make sure that they're all signing their checks? How do you hold them accountable? How do you speak their language? I'm about to show you. Michael, keep going. There are going to be some secrets that you have to understand. And what I do every single day is I try to aim for 3 things. Number 1 thing that you need to be for your team is motivational. Nobody wants to work for a dull, boring person who can't inspire shit. You're gonna have to learn how to find a way to motivate people. And when you're motivating them, just understand motivational is temporary. Write that down under motivation. Motivation is temporary, but if you ain't motivational, I'm not gonna work around you, dude. Like, we're in the information age. We're in the age where people see people online and they look up to them and they wanna get close to these influencers. Can you be one of these people? Like, you damn sure better be. Number 2, everybody say inspirational. Inspirational. Okay, write this down. If you wanted to be an inspirational person, inspiration lasts longer than motivation. Inspiration is finding something that's important to somebody and figuring out emotionally how to get them to that goal, that dream. Okay, Michael, next one. When you're being inspirational, you're becoming this person, and which leads to number 3 is becoming a driver. Motivation, inspiration, and then driver. When you're an inspirational person, you're talking to their team, you understand their language, and then you're reminding them on the days that they're weak what goals and things that were important to them. Let me give you an example. You know, if I've got a guy on my team and his dream car is like a freaking, you know, a Porsche because his dad's dream car was a Porsche, and he gets excited about Porsches because his dad drove a Porsche, and he's having a hard day in revenue, I'm not going to talk to him about revenue. I'm going to talk to him about, like, dude, is the work ethic and things that you're doing right now, is that driving you further or closer from the Porsche? I want you to imagine you're driving into Fountain Hills and you're looking at these beautiful mountains and you're sitting in the Porsche. Guys, this is kind of my story, to be honest with you. I just got these old cars that my grandparents used to drive. I just got a 1934 Chevy and a 1954 MGTD pace car, and I'm restoring them. Why? Because my grandparents had them. And so if it was me and I was inspiring myself, I'd say, Evan, just imagine right now you're driving in Fountain Hills and your grandparents are, you're in one of these cars and you've paid for them cash, and you're sitting there and you feel close to your grandpa. How would that make you feel? This is me in a one-on-one conversation selling my team to get to the next level. You understand? You got to be a salesperson in every area of your life. And when you're a leader, a lot of leaders just don't view it like that. I view every interaction I have as a sales tool for my team. When I see a guy doing good in his fitness, I walk up and I point it out. And I'm like, dude, you looking good, man. Like, dude, thank you for holding this standard. What's going on? Oh, I lost 10 pounds, man. Thank you for noticing. Yeah, you're looking a little slimmer, man. What's the big goal? What are you trying to do? And I'm trying to figure out the emotional attachment. Well, dude, I just want to show Andy that. Okay, cool. So his emotional attachment's Andy. The next time I loop back around in a week from now, I'm going to remind him about that. Like, I'm trying to find ways to become a driver, but I'm inspirational, I'm motivational, I'm intense, I'm passionate, I give a shit. Most leaders just don't give a shit anymore, dude. I care. I want to see my team win. I want to see, they have to feel that. Am I easy to work with? No. I'm actually sometimes an asshole. I demand a lot out of myself, so I demand a lot out of people around me. It's just the truth. I get held to a very high standard. But here's the difference. I want you to write this down. You can be an asshole, but you got to be, people have to know your heart. They got to know your intentions. I'm not just an ass to be an ass. They might feel that way. They might feel that, like, I'm always on them or poking holes in their game or trying to figure out ways to get onto them. But the truth is I'm just figuring out how to make them a better person. And they know that. So that's the intention. Now, at times they might get a little emotional, but they know my intentions. You can't go coach somebody if they don't know your intention. Your intention. That's why, like, when Michael says something to me and I'm like, Michael, that shit's not gonna work. Like, dude, I wouldn't go that way, and I might jump on him and I say, dude, that's stupid, you gotta do this. He's not like, whoa, why are you coaching me? He's like, oh, thank you, coach. Like, I know that you care, you know? Like, you gotta be a leader that people know that you care. Next slide, Michael. You know, and so here's the 3 things that you need to know about being a driver. So if you wanna be the best driver in the world, and you gotta understand this, a driver, think about it like a NASCAR. You know, you can have the engine, you can have the body, you can have all the stuff, but if you don't have somebody driving that sucker, it doesn't matter. It's just another car, okay? Number one thing that I operate out of is a word called moral authority. So the last 2 years of my career, probably longer, really, like it's actually been like a majority, but really like the last 2 years before I got promoted to the co-president of the company, my word for the year was moral authority. And the reason being is because I wanted to walk into a room and when I talk, everybody listen. There's no like question. When I talk, everybody quiets down and they're like, whatever he says is the truth. I've seen him do it. And that's because they're thinking about my prior successes. They know that I was successful. They know that I've made more money than them. Every single salesperson in my company knows that I've closed more deals than them. Isn't that cool? Because when I talk, it's not like I'm just some guy that's full of shit talking. Like when I talk, they're like, dude, he's a legend. Why? Okay, so what does it take to be there? It's going to take a lot of work ethic. It's going to take you being really good at what you do. When Andy walks in to speak on a stage in front of 5,000 people, no matter if you like him or not, he has moral authority. What does he look like? What does he sound like? Does he look decisive? Does he look passionate? Does he look intense? Does he look like he takes care of himself? So when he's talking to you, he's got his family there with him. So he's talking about taking his family with him. He's saying everything. He's on the stage. He looks the part. Right? So they're thinking about his existing success. He is making money. He is killing the game. I don't want to follow a leader that was successful 10 years ago. I want to follow a leader that's successful and doing everything now. I want to know that you have the life that you have and I want that life. When I see Andy, I'm like, dude, when I subconsciously didn't even know this, but the reason why I decided to fire my old company and join Andy, you can be fired as a company. Just know that when people quit on you, they're basically firing you as a leader. So I fired my other company, which by the way was a good company, but I felt capped out. And the reason why I felt capped out is because I wasn't growing personally there. I was growing financially, but honestly, guys, I didn't have a good personal life. I didn't have the wife that I have now. I wasn't the best father. It wasn't like I was a bad father. I just wasn't the guy that I am today for my kids. And I knew I could become that guy. But when I saw Andy and I saw the way that he was with his wife and I heard his comeback story, I'm like, I want to be like that. And I'm like, I got to get close to this guy because I want to get that. Like how he is with his wife, how he is with his kids, I want to do that. And I've been able to do that. Okay, so now people see that and then they're better in my company with their relationships. You know what the crazy thing is, Elliott Group, running a sales team? Lucas, you know this because you've ran big sales teams. My guys who have ran sales teams. One of the things that you have to deal with the most is personal problems and drama. Business would be easy if it weren't for the people, right? Like this shit would be so easy if it weren't for the people. You know what I don't have to deal with in the Elliott Group is personal shit, personal problems. You know why? Because we have our personal problems together, so other people have their personal problems together. When you're not good as a leader with your personal shit, you wonder why your sales team always comes in with the same old problems. Dude, they see them through you. You're like their parent. If you drink with your sales team, don't be mad when they show up on Monday and Tuesday hungover. You drink with them, dude. I don't drink with my sales team. So I don't have that problem. They know that that's against the code. Live by a code and teach your team to live by a code. Moral authority. Everyone needs to know that they can get successful next to you. Everybody needs to know that they can get close to you and they can make money quick. Go to the next slide, Michael. So understand, moral authority is huge. Now, if you're going to get moral authority, here's the things you're looking for. I'm looking for a coachable student. I'm looking for them to be open. I'm looking for them to be moldable, have humility where they can look in the mirror and know that there's more. But to have that moral authority, you got to be direct. You got to be direct. You got to let them know where they stand. You can't be one of these people, which many of you guys are this person. And I still struggle. This is one of my biggest, I'll be very vulnerable right here. This is my biggest problem that I have in my life. I'm a people pleaser. I'm a people pleaser. I have a single mom who lost both of her brothers. One of her brothers got murdered. One of her brothers died in an ambulance. He got struck going through an intersection. He was the ambulance driver. My mom deals with depression. My mom deals with a lot of stuff. There was a lot of abuse. My dad was very abusive to her. There's a lot of things that she's had to deal with. And I can't for a second, hate on, like, I wish that sometimes she could just leave some of the trauma and like step into the light. But like, I also have never dealt with that. So I can't, like, I'm trying to get her to do that, but it's very hard. And I understand that because she's been through a lot. And so I have massive empathy for that. And I think about that, and I think about that as a leader, and I think about as a kid, my mom would cry herself to sleep so many nights. Single mom, I'm the youngest of 8 kids. 7 of them are still alive. We have all this family, and my mom is a single mom, and it was a great. I had a great childhood. I can't complain about it. But I do remember all the time being kind of my mom's counselor, somewhat, like walking her, like motivating her, like, Mom, you can do this, like, and every time she cried, I'd be there to help her. So like when a woman cries around me, I naturally am like, what do I got to do? Like I immediately like, how do I help you? Or team members or things. I'm like, I just want to help. I just want to get, like, what do I got to do? Like, and I've learned that like, I can't always please everybody. I've learned online through the massive hate, like people that talk shit, like I'm not going to please everybody. And that is still a challenge for me because I want everybody to be happy. Because I grew up with a lot of people that weren't happy, that were my grandparents that were dealing with losing their 2 boys. And then me and my brothers come along, me and my twin brother come along. Like, isn't that crazy? My brother, my 2 uncles die in their mid-20s. They're big, tall, handsome, charismatic freaking dudes. They're good guys. They graduated high school, college. These guys are put together. And then they pass away. Like, terrible. And my grandpa lost both of his boys, but guess who was born? Guess what God did? God brought me and my brother along. And isn't that crazy? And then me and my brother come along, and our goal was just to motivate and be the ones in our family. Michael, next slide. I wanted to be the one, so I had to learn how to be direct, honest, uplifting. The differentiator in my career was this next slide. Go to it, Michael. It was mentorship. It was mentorship, getting around the right people, changing who I was, changing my identity, constantly recreating. Next one, Michael. And becoming the person that I wanted to become. Check this out, guys. Look, the guys on the left were just like dorky kids, man. Like, I had to like grow up. Some of you guys got hope. Look at how ugly I was. Now I'm not too bad. Like, I went from like a 5 to like a 5.8, bro. It's like crazy. Like that 0.8, that 0.8 is dangerous though. Girls love that 0.8. Hold on. That sounded horrible, by the way. Every inch counts, right? But you guys got to understand, in this seminar, Coach Burt, mentor of mine when I first started in coaching, good friend of mine today, always an instrumental piece in who I've become. We are Coach Burt's greatest testimonies. There's nobody that's been more successful in his program. And I'm saying that because I started off in his program on the left at an event with him learning how to coach, and he told me his team makes $30,000 or $25,000 in a day between him and like 5 of his guys. And it equated to how many days they worked. It was like 10 million or something for the year or something like that. And I was like, man, that's freaking crazy. Like I could never dream of that. Like we were just starting the Elliott Group, and like $2,000 in one day would have been like outrageous, right? And fast forward, the guys on the right are hosting the same seminar in the same room with Coach Burt as his biggest testimonials. And guess how much money we were doing that day? Guess how much money we averaged that year? Ian and I together separately averaged $30K, which is $5K more a day than Coach Burt and his 5 team members. Ian did that, and I did that. And Coach Burt says, he comes in here, he's like, guys, these guys together have a bigger coaching company than me. But not only that, they've got a team of 20 guys underneath them. They were able to literally 100x what I did in less than 3 years. Because I'm psycho, because I care about people, because I wanted it, because I'm an executor, because I found a way to build a team that nobody else could build, because I found the right people, because I looked at their heart, because I knew that the people that have gone through the most usually can end up with the most. And I'm like, you're on the bus with me. And then we threw the people off the bus that didn't align. Throw those people off the bus quickly. Even if you make a bad decision, you're like, I thought they were with me, and they're not. Get them off the bus and get the right people on the bus with you. The only reason why we were able to be hit that level of success was because of the team we built. It was not because of us, and it was because of God. Because God put these people in our life, and then we just took care of them. And even some people that burned us along the way, which some of you guys know some of those people. Some of them burned us along the way, and we didn't let our hearts get dark. Some of you guys have had people burn you and cheat on you and steal from you and lie to you, and as leaders, and you've let your heart get dark. Read the book, Jesus, the High Road Leader. Jesus, the High Road Leader by John Maxwell. It's a green book on Amazon. When my heart started to get dark as a leader because I went through a lot of shit, I read that book and it changed my perspective. I don't care what you do to me. Jesus was persecuted. He was laughed, mocked, talked shit about. He was killed. He was crucified. This is the Son of God. And I'm over here complaining because one guy stole $30,000 from me or something from me. Who cares? Move on. Move on. Okay, go to the next slide, Michael. So I moved on and we were able to build this really cool business, but you have to learn to pick the right people. My wife, Andy Elliott, when you find the people that care about you, you got to figure out a way to stick with them. Loyalty over everything. I'm not leaving the Elliots because they've done everything in my life and they've stuck to their word. Now listen, guys, let's think about you guys as your own Andy Elliots. If you get people in your company, everything you say you do, you must do. And you must tell them, anything that I say I'm going to do, I swear on my life I will do. If there's ever a day I change up your pay plan, if there's ever a day I don't stick to my word, if there's ever a day I'm a piece of shit to my wife, if there's ever a day I cheat on my wife, if there's ever a day I do something stupid that's like unforgivable, like obviously people need to be forgiven like for like stupid little things, but if there's ever a day I totally switch up on myself, please just run for the door. Andy tells us that all the time. And you know what Andy's always done? Stick to his word. He's always stuck to his word. But you got to learn to pick the right person. Okay, so you got to identify what that looks like. You got to really understand that this is going to be the rise of the way that you grow, or it's going to be like the way that you burn your life down, especially when I talk about a significant other. Because I was always around liability women, and I'm going to be honest with you. I told Jacqueline Elliott, I said, how do I find a woman like you when I first met her? I'm like, you're so interested in business, and you guys do life together, and you're such a good mom. How come I've never had that? I got a 5-year-old daughter at the time, nothing against her mom. Well, probably 3 at the time. Nothing against her mom. I was a bad person, and it just didn't work out. We were on two total, it was not one of those relationships that was good. And I remember Jacqueline Elliott telling me, the reason why you haven't found that person is because you're a liability. You're looking for an asset, but you're a liability. And I was like, she's like, go become not a liability. Why don't you go work on yourself? Why don't you go fix all the shit that you don't want your daughter to look up to? And I was like, guys, we were in a very normal conversation, and it got really deep there for a second. It hurt. You guys ever been in one of those conversations where you're like, yeah, but, your ego starts to flare up. You're like, but you don't understand. Like, dude, listen, you're weak. That's your person. That's your problem. And all you need to do is actually stick to your word. Now, many of you guys have good significant others, but if you don't, the one thing that will either make your life go great or make your life horrible is that person that you're going to choose. Michael, next slide. The team, the mentors, the people that you're going to build around you. So look at this slide real quick, guys. Think about this for a second. Tom Brady gets picked like, I don't even know. Sean might be able to tell me. It was like in the 6th round. Like it was like 200 picks in, let's just say. Guys, Bill Belichick, do you guys think, can I ask you guys a question? Do you guys think that Tom Brady's a driver? Do you guys think that he's a driver, yes or no? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Guys, is he motivational? Is he inspirational? Is he hard to work around? Are there some people who hated him? 199. Thanks, Franz. I love my OGs. You guys always assist me. Guys, 199th pick. Do you think that he was the guy that everybody was counting on to be the greatest player of all time? If Bill Belichick doesn't find him, do you guys think that he goes down as the greatest coach in history? I don't think so. I don't know. I couldn't tell you 100%, but I will tell you this. The person that you choose is very important. Think about Andy Elliott finding me and my brother and recruiting me and my brother early on. Do you think that, I'm not being cocky, do you think that the Elliott group turns out the same way? Probably not, right? Like who you choose. Tom Brady replaced Drew Bledsoe. Tom Brady has had a crazy career. Think about the game that he was behind in the Super Bowl. I think they were down 28-7 going into the 4th quarter, if I'm right. I think so, or some shit like that. You know, the ring that he has like 280 diamonds. Like it has like 280 diamonds on it because it reminds them of that. It reminds them of how far they were down. It was the largest comeback in like Super Bowl history. You know, and forgive me if I'm like kind of like ad-libbing like the whole story, but I know that they have this Super Bowl ring and it reminds them of like that comeback story. What's your comeback story? Some of you guys might be down right now and you might think you're counted out. Dude, maybe this is just God testing your will and your grit and your power. You know, Tom comes back and wins this game and he's on the sidelines just yelling at everybody, getting fired up. And, you know, it just solidifies his career. But, like, think of if Bill Belichick would have just stuck with who he had, Drew Bledsoe. Drew Bledsoe's a great quarterback, but he's not a driver. Think about you and your company. Are you going to become a driver? Think about you and your family. Are you the driver for your kids, the people around you? Next slide, Michael. You have to understand. 28-3. Yes, Franz, you are just, oh, Dre does. Dre, okay, Dre. All right, Dre coming in and stepping up. I got you. Or is that Franz? I can't tell. Okay. Anyways, what people are driven by, you got to understand the language that they speak to the language that you speak to the audience on who you are driving will dictate how you get the most out of people. Next slide, Michael. How you get the most out of people. It's about the language you speak. Man, understand this. Sean, this is great to do with your kids. This is great to do with your wives. This is great to do with your husbands. This is how I onboard my salespeople. When I onboard my salespeople, I have dream building questions. Next slide, Michael. Dream building questions. I'm asking them, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What success look like for you? And when they tell me what success looks like for them, they're like, well, success looks like, you know, me putting 100K in the bank. Why? Why does success look like that for you? They're like, if you guys know the why ladder, it's so powerful. Why does success look like that for you? Like, well, you know, we've never had that kind of money in the bank. Well, okay. Well, why? Well, we just don't come from money. Okay, tell me a little bit more about that. Why? Well, my grandparents, you know, we had this going on, and you know, my parents immigrated from Mexico, and we were doing this, and like I'm a first time or first generation, you know, American. I'm trying to do this, that, and the other. It's like, oh, cool. Tell me a little bit more about why is that? And then they go down a rabbit hole, and then all of a sudden they were telling you about this 100K, but you actually got the meat of what the issue is. Now or what they're driving, their motivating factors are. You know, it's like my daughter, like she says, like, I want to be a professional dancer and like this cheerleader, and I want to go to the school and I want to go to Juilliard. I'm like, why? Tell me about it. And I'm trying to figure out her dominant motives. Like, why does she want to do that? I need to know so that way I can help drive you. Next one, Michael. You got to do that. You know, I know that in talking to people, the people that don't have a clear, like, where they're going, they don't know exactly where they're going. It's like a ship at sea at port. You know, it's like a ship at sea. They got to know what port they're going to hit. Otherwise, like, where are they going to go? They're just going to drift around the ocean. Like, you got to know where you're going to dock your ship. You got to know where you're going. And for my team, when I'm doing these dream building questions, it's like some of them are like, hey, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What does winning look like from you? Who have you wanted to prove wrong? Who have you wanted to prove right? Like, I'm coming up with questions that tell me a little bit more about my team members. What if they say, like, I'm looking to prove my dad right? And I'm like, why? Or to prove my dad wrong. And I'm like, why? And they're like, well, because, like, you know, he never believed in me. Why didn't he never believe in you? Well, he never really believed in himself, to be honest with you. He was this kind of person, this is this. Okay, why is that? And then he starts telling me his whole family story. Most leaders, they stay surface level. In our company, we go deep. I want to know all my guys. I want to know what drives them. My driver was who I wanted to be, but it was also who I didn't want to be. My father was just an abusive, alcoholic piece of shit, man. Like, to be honest with you, just never really a good guy. You know, if you come from a good family, elevate that legacy. You don't have to come from a bad family to be successful. I know we talk a lot about that, especially us that have some painful stories. But if you come from a good family, like, it's your responsibility to elevate that legacy. But I didn't have a good dad. So my success for me is being the best father possible. Success for me is Jackson over here. He's playing with Enrique, and he's at the Lions Den with me. We're going to go down and work out with a couple hundred people in the parking lot right now here in a few minutes. And that's success for me. Like, my son working out with me is success for me. I didn't get to do that with my dad. Who I wanted to become. My grandfather was the creator of the Denver School of the Arts in Colorado. He was a teacher for 50 years. Big time supporter of first responders, law enforcement, nurses, teachers, doctors, just good guy in the community. If social media was back around when my grandfather was around, he'd be one of the most famous people on the planet. I've never heard a more charismatic person in my life. I've never heard a better speaker. I remember wheeling, this might give me some tears, or my freaking arms on my head, arms are standing up. On the back of my neck is standing up too. I remember my grandpa had full-blown dementia. Like, full-blown. And I'm smiling about it because even throughout dementia, we always just made jokes. I'm like, Granddad, you can't remember what you ate for breakfast. And he's like, yes, I can. And then he would say something and he wouldn't remember. Or even if he did remember, I'd be like, that wasn't what you ate. And he'd be like, you're full of shit. You know, and like, we would just go back and forth. And he was just so funny, man. And even on my grandpa's deathbed, like when he was dying, and they say, like, when you're dying, you're gonna, like, you almost see the other side, and you kind of start talking to people on the other side and doing all this stuff. And he was really in pain, and I was still sitting there making jokes and razzing him up. And my grandma called me over the day he was dying, and I remember she was like, he's yelling at the nurses, he's really uncomfortable. And the second me and my brother walk in, like, everything changes because our energy, because of the way that we spoke to him. It was really powerful. But I remember he would do these speeches at high schools, and he was a really good speaker, man. Unbelievable. And I remember he accepted this gig to go down to South High School, which is the high school that he taught at, to go do a commencement speech. He was the keynote speaker, you know, and he's in a wheelchair. He's 6'5", 280 pounds. And he's strong, and sometimes he can be a little aggressive, you know? And I'm like, okay, so I wheel him in, I'm in his van, and he's like, where are we at? I'm like, we're at South High School. And I'm like I'm like peeking out the stage, and there's 2,000 people in the crowd. This is a big high school. And I'm like, Granddad, you gotta do this speech for the high school. And he's like, which high school is it? And I'm like, it's South, where you taught. And he's like, I can do this. Where are they? Give me the microphone. And I'm like, they're right out there. And he literally, he grabs his cane and he stands up and he walks out there, and I'm helping him, and I'm staged, and I don't like the stage, and I'm like looking at people, and I'm like, how could he just, what the heck is wrong with this guy? Well, you know what? He was trained, man. He fell back to his lowest level of skill. He was a true professional. He didn't need to get ready. He stayed ready. Even when he didn't even know where he was at. He walked out on that stage and he delivered something that I've never seen in my life. It reminded me of something you'd see Denzel Washington do or something like that. Like, it was freaking crazy. Everybody was freaking going nuts. And when he got off the stage and he got back in his wheelchair, you know, he was laughing, and I was like, Granddad, that was great. And he's like, what was it? What did I do? And I was like, you just spoke to all these people. And he's like, what's for breakfast? Where's my wife at? Where's Jane? And I'm like, she's back at the house. And he's like, what's for breakfast? I'm like, we ate breakfast. It's lunchtime. He's like, all right, let's go get out of here. And it's like, he didn't even care. He just kept going. I'm like, dude. Anyways, I just thought, how cool was that? Like, I want to be like that. Dude, listen, my grandpa, even on his worst days of his life, he had energy. He was living in his purpose. He was happy, and he lived a fulfilled life, and he changed a lot of people's life. I would meet people all the time as a kid, and I never understood it, and I never thought I was a teacher, and I never thought I was a speaker, and I wasn't. I was a car salesman for 10 years, and it just so happened that towards the end of my grandpa's life, when I partnered with Andy, he got to see what I was doing, and we became very similar to him. And when I was young, I really didn't even really like what my grandpa did. He would do all these plays, and he was a director of plays, and he was always on stage, and he was always like giving people shit at restaurants and all this stuff. And like, I became my grandpa. It's not what's taught, it's what's caught. My grandpa never forced any of it down my throat. The only thing that he ever forced down my throat was this. My grandpa knew everybody at my school because he was a teacher. And there was a play, and it was like an old war play, and I had to be like the bugle boy or whatever the hell it was called back then. And and my grandpa called the theater teacher, and he got me the head position at the play. Like he did that. And I remember that on the play day, I told the lady, I was like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I want to stand in the back. And I cried, and I never did it. And from that day on, I never spoke on a stage. I never did a play. I never did any of that stuff. And I only did small sales meetings for a couple of people. And then just so happens now, I mean, I've spoken on stages with 5,000 people. Like, crazy what can happen. Crazy how life turns out. You never know where you're going, but you know, you can make these people proud. Go to the next slide. So I feel like I'm living in my purpose, and I'm making my grandfather proud. A couple of things that motivate people is lifestyle. So understand, when you're talking to some of your people, it might be their lifestyle. I want to show people on my team through what I do that the lifestyle that I'm living will motivate them. If you're not living a good lifestyle, just know that your team's going to leave you at one point, because they're going to find somebody who's living the life that they want. Next slide, Michael. 4 levels of lifestyle. So you got to understand how to speak to people. Remember, this is all about understanding the people around you. People operate in 4 different frequencies. Number 1 is survival. So think about this. When you're just trying to survive, you're just trying to pay your bills. I got to talk to that guy just a little bit differently to get him to understand. And I got to know where he's at if he's just in survival mode. Think about status mode. I remember when I was in status mode, just trying to buy my first Mercedes-Benz to be able to show my team like I was successful. That was awesome to me. Here's Jackson, guys. Say hi to Jackson. There's Jackson. Hi, Jack. Hey, what's the keys to winning?
Intensity, effort, and attitude.
That's right. Intensity, effort, attitude. Love you. Intensity, effort, attitude. Guys, listen, intensity, effort, attitude. If you don't have intensity, how are you going to win, man? It doesn't matter if you show up with a great attitude. If you're not intense about it, if you're not ready to go to war, if you're not ready to fight for what's yours, you're never going to win. And if you damn sure don't have a good attitude through it, who's going to want to follow you? But you also got to put in effort. Everybody say effort. Massive effort. Massive effort. A lot of people, they pray to God for the life, the kids, and then they don't put in the effort for the life that they want. I tell my son every day, you could be the best baseball player in the world, but it's going to take a lot of effort. It's going to take intensity, and it's damn sure going to take a great attitude, especially when your team doesn't have those things. You have to be the person that shows up. So that's what I tell him every day. I'm like, what's the keys to winning in our family? Intensity, effort, attitude, always at the top. But you got to understand the 4 levels of lifestyle. So I know, write those down: survival, status mode, freedom, purpose. As I escalate through those things, I know if my team is operating in freedom. They've made a little bit of money. Now they're looking for some freedom. So I might be able to talk to them about their schedule. I might be able to talk to them about like, dude, now you're on the C schedule. I'll see you when you see it, bro. I'm not going to put my thumb on you. Hey, maybe freedom. Maybe like a good bonus would be like a little vacation or something, or doing something for them that puts them in that zone. Status mode, guys. Listen, this little watch that I have, when I got this watch, this Breitling from Andy, it was all about the status. He was playing off of our egos. He's like, man, look, man, I know that these guys all want to create some status. We've had different bonuses that reflect that. You know, when you're in a sales organization, you better get used to giving out some different lifestyle bonuses, some different status bonuses, some different things, so you're figuring out ways to get people to move. Okay, and then then you get to a point of purpose. Like, I operate solely in purpose now. Okay, stay with Enrique. In purpose. So like my main purpose is like I wanted to build a nonprofit. Andy's always telling me, the harder you work right now, the faster you're going to build your nonprofit. The faster you're going to be able to glorify, like I want to name it after my grandfather. I want to help single moms. I want to be able to help moms that struggled like my mom. I want to help women that were abused by men. I want to fight these men. I want to fight for these women. I want to fight for the people that don't have a voice. I want to fight for sex trafficked people. I want to fight for these people, and I want to show up with an army and show them that there's good men out there. There's good men that look strong, that are aggressive, but they don't want to hurt you. They want to love you. I want to be able to reframe the way that some people see masculinity. Like I want them to see it, that there's God, there's kingdom men out there that will show up on your worst day and fight for you. That's what I want to do. That's my vision. Okay, the reason why I work the way I work right now is because I'm going to build that. Tony Robbins started his charity. He fed, somebody get me the stat on what he fed last year. Okay, he started this like 25 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years, whatever he started. He fed 2 families on Thanksgiving, and it led into millions of people. Every year they doubled up. It's like that penny doubled a day. And now he did 1 billion meals. Think about that. He was hungry. He felt like that's one of the worst things to experience as a child, is being hungry. And so he now has fed 1 billion people. Everybody asks, they look at Tony Robbins, they look at Andy, and they're like, why do you operate? Why are you still so stirred up? You guys ever thought like, hey, if I make $1 million, let me ask you this. You ever thought like, hey, if I made $1 million, I would just settle down and cool down? You're like, man, all I got to do is hit that 2 million. All I got to do is put that $500,000 in the bank. All I got to do is get to that 100,000, and then, whoo, I'm going to take a breath. Okay, the guys that are psychotic, that just keep going, and they're crazy about winning, do you know what they do? They're out of legacy and purpose. It's not even about the money. It's about the mission. It's about the vision. Tony Robbins isn't just still running around on these stages because of the money. He's a billionaire. He's doing it so he can fund the mission, so he can change the lives. Andy Elliott can not work for the rest of his life. Do you think that he even cares about that? No, he's here to change lives. Do you think that he cares if he pisses people off online? No, he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't even read those things. You know what he reads? The DMs, the people that are like, bro, I was about to kill myself, and I'm not, because one of your reels changed everything that I thought. That's why some of you guys got to post more content. You don't even know what your content will do for somebody. You have no idea. One reel. You have no idea. People, me and my brother were literally at a conference a couple of weeks ago, and this guy told us he was going to put a gun in his mouth that night, and he saw some reel from Ian and I. It was honestly it was a motivational speech of Ian that we put on YouTube, and Ian's in his car, and Ian was like, he told Jonah and Enrique, do not post that video. It was terrible. I don't like it. I don't like my voice. I wasn't my best. Jonah and Enrique went and posted it anyways, and pissed Ian off. Our social media guys, they're like, no, it's good. It's good. Some guy came up to us and was like, this was the video. We're like, dude, we almost didn't post that video. Oh my God. And then some of you guys are sitting there and just knowing that if you just started posting some of the content, you'd attract the people that you're looking for. Next slide, Michael. But understand the lifestyle. Understand who you're looking for. Key drivers on my team: competition, breaking records, fighting for a cause, enemies. Understand this. These are also your drivers. Know what your drivers are. I am a competitive person. I am a breaking record. I'm kind of all of these, to be honest with you. I'm a little different. But like some of my team, they don't really care about breaking records. They just care about fighting for the cause. Some of my team, they fight to take out the enemies. Andy, he picked an enemy. There was somebody in our space that was bigger than us. All he cared about was taking them out, and we've done that. Okay, for me, it's competition, bro. You put me in a competition, I will die to win. Something about me is just so weird. Like, I don't even know. Like, maybe it was after doing some healing work, I understood that, like, since my dad wasn't around, like, I wanted to feel worthy. So my identity was always in being the best. So, like, I could prove to, like, my dad, like, I didn't even know that was my problem. And honestly, you know what, though? This is why I called my dad years later, and I thanked him for being a piece of shit, because it created the version of me who I actually love. Like, some of you guys got to reframe some of the shit that you've been through. Maybe it's actually like God, like, saying, hey, like, you know, like, I put you through this so that way you can become this person. Thank you, God. Hey, thank you, person, for hurting me. Thank you. I'm so grateful for this ex-husband of mine who's a piece of shit and didn't treat me the way that I needed. Why? Because now I know what true love should be and what it shouldn't be, right? Like, you got to learn to, like, take everything and then use it, like, use that person as maybe the enemy that you're going to go out and take out. You know, I tell these guys all the time. I'm like, some people, they talk shit on you for coming down here, leaving your whole life. You were successful as a salesperson. You get recruited into the Elliott group, and all of these people are like, don't do it. Like, you're doing good. Why are you going down there? Oh, this, that, the other. I'm like, what you should want to do is show all of these people, like, you should be making these people your enemy, and you should be wanting to prove that, like, you want to burn these people's eyes out with your success. That's what I want to do. I know it might sound a little unhealthy for some, but bro, this is the keys to winning, man. I'm telling you right now, winning will not recognize you. It will not date you. It will flee from you. It will not be attracted to you. You will not be attractive to winning unless you operate with some sort of this dark side. There's the light and there's the dark, but it's okay to use some of the dark and still have that edge. Now, there's a difference between operating in the dark and being a piece of shit and it being bad, but you still got to use some of that. Like, you got to use some of that. And your team can feel that, because if you become soft, and if you're not this person, they're soft and they're weak. There's a reason why our team is the way we are, because Andy operates this way. Okay, next slide, Michael. So how to drive. Get into it. Next one, Michael. Layers of trust. Keep going. Write this down, layers of trust. In order to get layers of trust, you just have to show people your intentions. You have to go deeper. You have to know their problems. Enemies you have to confront. They are coming to kill you. This is the truth. You have people that you are going to motivate. We motivate our competition. In fact, we have a coaching coaches program. I build most of my competitors. I don't compete, we create. Write that down. I don't even care. But just know that these people are coming. So you better get good at what you do. You better build some layers of trust on your team so when shit hits the fan, they don't run because they love you. Next slide, Michael. Let's go past that. So when you're gonna motivate people and you're gonna drive them, tie their results to some sort of deadline. Anytime I talk to my team members, I give them a deadline on what I see them accomplishing. I'm like, yo, I see you doing $100,000 worth of revenue. I want to see you do that in 11 days. Like, report back to me how that's going. Hey, whatever it is, like, I don't just have conversations with people and then there's no feedback loop. Like, I'm like, yo, give me feedback on how you're doing on these things. Like, you need to draw everything to a deadline so that way people know that you're going to, and then hold them accountable to it. Next slide, Michael. Hold them accountable. Write this down. You got to hold people accountable. Manage their actions, not the result. This is good for all of you guys too, especially you guys that are selling. A lot of the times you're trying to manage the result on what kind of revenue you're trying to make or whatever it is. Manage the action. What are you putting into it? The results will come. Same thing with your body. You want to grow the best body in the world? Just manage winning the day with your macros that day. Manage winning the day, one day with your workout. Don't manage the whole month, the whole 100-day challenge. Manage the one day in the challenge. Manage the one day. I feel like I'm getting the best results right now in my fitness because I'm just winning every day. And every day I look in the mirror, I'm like, ooh, damn, I'm feeling a little fuller. I'm feeling a little stronger, right? Next one, Michael, manage the action. That's like football coaches. We manage the action. Be a champion. Take a picture of this. These are the only things you should be talking about with your team. Competitive greatness, poise, confidence, condition, skill, team spirit, self-control, alertness, initiative, intentness, industriousness, friendship, loyalty, cooperation, enthusiasm. I talk about all of these things when I'm in sales meetings. I could literally have a meeting on each one of these topics. I am brainwashing my team every day to get along, to treat each other right. I am recasting the vision all the time on who we're gonna be and why we're gonna do it and why we do what we do. We have a sales meeting every single freaking day. Some people say that's too much. I'm like, people have to count on a ritual. They need to count on a rhythm. They will get used to the rhythm. I want them to know every day we're working through the devil and the demons together. I want every day, I know that they're going to go home and face shit. When they come back in front of me, I want to resell them every single day on what happens. Okay? That's important. I want people to count on the ritual, on what our team does. I want them to know when our meetings are. I want it to be predictable. I want it to be very predictable. Now, am I going to do some unpredictable shit like have a meeting in the parking lot? or walk them around the block and talk to them or do it in a different office space, yeah, I'll be a little unpredictable with some of those things, but I want success in some of these things to be predictable in my company so that they fall into a good rhythm. Okay, next one, Michael. 3 levels of leadership, and we're going to end it here. This is very important. You can never build a good team around you if, number one, you don't learn to lead yourself. That's why in the Elliott Group, we just talk about killing off mediocrity. And those of you that are with us in this school community and you stay for a long time, you'll see how we run. You'll get around us, and it's hard not to love us when you get around us because we actually care about people, and like we actually love what we do. And like you can't fake it. Franz has been in our community. He's one of our top students. And he did Tommy Propovich's wedding, the guy that I told you guys about earlier. He did all of his pictures at his wedding. Like he's our camera guy that does all of our stuff. Like there's a lot of guys that we exchange business with and we do stuff together. He's been a part of our family. He knows how we are. A lot of people fake this shit. Like we actually live it. My encouragement for you is like if you're getting new into this community is stay. Stay for a while. Some of the calls might get mundane. We might not share special information. The goal is to have to repeat and show you exactly how we live, and then for you to get around us and actually like do life with us. Okay? And then once you learn all these things, then you can build other leaders, and then those leaders build other leaders. It's really simple. But the hardest part is level 1. And then once you get level 1 down, building a couple of leaders around you in your company shouldn't be that hard. And then those people should know by the way that you guys live and the code and the standards and everything that you live on, then they'll learn how to build other leaders. That's my call for you guys today. I absolutely love all of you. Thank you guys for tuning in. You know, go find a couple people and invite them into the community. Let's grow this thing. We're going to put the gas on school. We have so many cool ideas coming up, cool challenges, cool prizes. Stay in the community, engage with it. I'd like every single person on this call to go back into the community and type in one thing that they learned that they're going to implement. Maybe a weakness that you're going to cut out. Maybe something that hits you that you're like, man, like this is something that like maybe got me emotional. Maybe something that I know that I need to do. So, what was it? You're giving me a hug? Give me kisses. Give me kisses. Mwah. That wasn't a kiss. Okay, so I just want to tell you guys, we believe in you. There might not be a lot of people that say it. Guys, can you get this back on my screen? There might not be a lot of people that say it, but I just want you to know that we believe in you. So if there's never been anybody that's ever told you that, understand, when you get around us, we actually know what humans are capable of. You could be totally counted out right now. Good news. Those people that are the most counted out, the people that are the most effed up, those people usually become freaking really good people. So if you burn somebody, great. If you've been burned, great. It's not about who you are, it's about who you're becoming. If you've done really great in your life and you're just looking for the edge and maybe you've lost the edge a little bit, good. We will definitely freaking light the fire underneath your ass in this group.